Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Tonight, we're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case and some things I'm learning that everything may not be as it seems. Was Nancy taken, or did something happen to her way before 2 a.m.? I'll explain on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace, smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong, but honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me stand. I've been whispered about and written off, judged by the gloss, not the cost. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my claws, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, nothing cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, drop the cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls, dropping cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to
Yeah.
your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
Clutch.
Coming in clutch.
Well, hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is March 29th, 2026. It is currently 10:46 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. We're talking about the Nancy Guthrie case, and I was speaking to some people that was in health and earlier, and got some interesting information that, again, I need to dig more into it. Um, and see, like, does anyone know how long Nancy has had this specific um, pacemaker? Um, I did, Marie. Marie, thank you, darling. I did, honey. Thank you. Um, got some interesting things. Could something have happened to Nancy before 2 o'clock, 2 a.m.? We're going to talk about that. And there's a lot of things that don't make sense. And as things roll out, we're going to dig a little bit more. Yeah. So good to see you all. Let me say hello to a few in chat. Little Texas, thank you so much. Really do appreciate the 40 months. Thank you so much, sis. Appreciate you very much. Hello to Ruby for Justice. Good to see you, my friend. How you been? Yvette, good to see you. Raw Beanie, peace of Jesus to all. Hello, darling. Derby? Is it Doobie Red? Sorry. Thank you so much, Miss. Appreciate you. Mama's the bomb. What's up? Nancy, Connie, Robin, Kelly, Robini, Wanda, Connie, hello. Michelle, good to see you. Adele, Dreamcatcher, Connie, Anastasia, good to see you, hun. Miss Mama Wit, I think it happened earlier than what they are saying. Going to get to that. Very interesting things. He was on camera before taking her out. I believe they must have control over her at that point, sadly. I agree. I agree. Hello, Miss Sherry. Fire Girl. Hello. BT. Bonjour. Um, Tina, good to see you, honey. Connie, Wendy, Charlotte, Miss Yvette. Hello, darling. Good to see you. Good to see everyone in here. Um, let's see here. Hey, Adele, Wendy. All right, so let's get to. So there's a lot of things that's just not making sense in this case, and we are going to talk. I'm just trying to figure out where I want to start about this. There, let me go to the timeline. Let me show you this before we actually. You know what? We're going to go to Brian Enton real quick, and Brian Enton is headed back to. And this will get me to my point. What I'm talking about. Brian Enton is headed back to Arizona, which is great. Great. Kind of makes me wonder. Did he get some? Did he get some? Did he get some news from the underground? Does he know something? Did he got a source? What's going on here? Kind of wanting to know. But this will get me a little bit to my point. You know, I a lot of people's had a lot of trouble with this 2 minutes, right? This 2 minutes of Nancy uh, getting inside her house. Um, and I was thinking, I was thinking when the Pima County Sheriff's Office and the FBI was at Nancy's house, where were they focusing on a lot in her house? Where were they focusing on a lot? Her garage. Her garage. And it's interesting. It's very interesting. We're going to get into it. Here we go. Going to give credit to our friend Brian Inton. Make sure you sub up to Mr. Inton, of course. He's been working really hard on this case as well. Let's see here. Here we go. Mods, if you would be so kind and put his link in periodically as well. Link will be provided in the description as well.
Appreciate it as always. I mean, this Savannah interview, it's just, I mean, the anguish that she is facing and has been, and the fact that it's now been almost 2 months.
You know something maybe I should do first? I have not seen the rest of Savannah's interview. Hold on. Because I want to point out something as well. Maybe it was part 3. Give me a second, guys. I apologize. Just give me a second so I can pull this up. One second. Let me see if I can pull this up first. Because there was something in this I wanted to. Was there 3 parts or 4 parts?
How?
I can't remember.
Someone knows something, even if that something is someone's been acting strange for the last 7-8 weeks, even if it's just, I understand that.
Let me look in chat. 3 or 4 parts?
But our
3
hearts
parts?
are in
I don't know,
agony.
Wendy. I'm curious.
We can't breathe. We can't live. We can't go on. We can't be at peace. We can't go forward.
For me,
I really wanted to come and see everybody.
Yeah.
And be every day, be on TV, you know, and then all the people that you don't.
You were there and you said, I don't know how to come back. And I
Which is the answer to all my dreams, actually better than my dreams.
So how about coming back? I know everyone.
And when I do, it will be real. It will be my answer.
Where does she talk
And
about
when it's not,
them caring for her?
probably. I don't know if I'll belong. And I'm not going to be more beautiful in the broken.
I just want to talk. She has been thinking if you can come.
Okay. Never mind. Never mind. I'll pull it up in a second. We're going to go back to Brian because I got something here.
And a lot of people don't. The other thing would be how is.
Okay. Sorry, I'm pulling up there.
This Savannah interview, it's just, I mean, the anguish that she is facing and has been, and the fact that it's now been almost 2 months, and her strength. I mean, I've got a lot of emotions coming out of it. But in terms of the investigation, there was some new information that came out, and I kind of want to go through a few of these items with you and get your take. The back door, and she said doors, actually plural. The back doors were propped open, she said, when her sister.
Okay, back doors propped open. And I want to show you some pictures here. Back doors propped open. There's a few back doors, but something that I'm a little confused on, and I want to know if you guys seen this, because there's 3 different kind of back doors, right? Look at this. There's one right here, which kind of is just like a little room and it kind of goes to the garage. This is like the sliding doors, right? And then here is another one. Another one. Okay. What? Which back doors? Because from what everyone has reported, obviously, here's the sidewalk. This is the front door. And if you go straight back, this is where like the patio is, and this is where the sliding doors are. And my question is, how do you prop open a sliding door? I'm frozen. Perfect. How do you prop open a sliding door? Back doors means they aren't sliders if they're propped. You would think. She said back doors. Yes. But how do you prop open a sliding door? You just open. A sliding door, you just slide it open. If it's right there. Now, if there is other doors, if this door, the blue door right here in this little room, if this is propped open, this leads to the garage, right? Leads to the garage. I got a very interesting theory if that's the case. Yes, yes, this is a blue door right here. This is a blue door here, and then right here is the sliding doors. Now, why is on each side of the house if they're the blue doors in the back? Let me show you this picture. Okay. No, wait a second. Hold on. Let me look closer here. Actually, okay. This is a blue door. So there has to be, okay, there has to be another blue door here. Has to be a blue door and then the sliders because it's not down here. Right? Blue door, there's got to be a blue door here, one over here, and then the slider. Because the front door, and I was told it goes straight back, but if both blue doors are open, cleaning up something, so prop doors open to get rid of cleaning product smells. I don't think they cleaned it. I don't think they cleaned it. They had to clean up the blood. Automatic closing slider, Justin? I don't know what you mean by that. Automatic slider.
And
Okay. So we're gonna get on with it, right? You must not have a pool. What are you talking about? You must not have a pool. What does that mean?
brother-in-law arrived and Nancy
You
was
want to buy me
gone.
one?
What do you make of that?
Does that help?
I mean, that doesn't make sense to what I know. So what I know to be true, or at least alleged to be true from the.
It is for people who have pools. What are you talking about, Fire Girl? What are you talking about? You've got to finish the sentence. Give me some context clues. in your sentence, please.
The investigation, because Nancy, there was some blood belonging to Nancy on the front porch. So why in the front porch is where the camera was. If you could get into the back door, in and out of the back door, why would you even use the front? I would, so there would be a lot of questions I would have. Number
I have a pool and I don't have that kind of door. Like a sliding door? I have a sliding door in out where my deck is, if that's what you're talking about, but it has like a security sliding door meant for pool safety. Do we know that it's a sliding door for pool safety? Do we know that?
one, was there any indication of entry marks, breaking and entering,
Hell,
or
I
whether
don't-
was that door
HMC.
unlocked in the back? That would be important to know. The other thing is, how were the doors propped open?
Well, thank you, sir, for asking that. How was the doors propped open? Uh, and this is the thing: if it's auto sliders, like whoever, we have a pool, it's required to have alarm. It is auto closings. We chose the auto closing slide so the alarm won't bother neighbors. Well, that's the thing that I'm saying. If it was the blue doors, you can prop those open. If it is a sliding door, you can't prop a sliding door open. Sliding doors are either open, right, or they're not. Now, some of them you don't. Some doors there's not like an auto close or anything. That's an assumption. Number one, and number two, sometimes they have fences around them. So it just depends on where you live.
Open.
What-
If they were propped open by a mechanism that exists on the door, then you got to ask, how did they know that? How did they know that in advance? If it was propped open by wedges or something like that,
Listen
that
to
they
this.
brought with them, say in a backpack, then you're saying this person has cased the house and knows they want to prop those doors open. If they propped them open with just one of Nancy's shoes or a chair or something like that, it would lead me to believe it was more of an impromptu decision. And that's, law enforcement is going to be trying to find out through every single bit of evidence they have, was this highly cased, highly prepared for, or were these a bunch of, fools who came in and thought that they could make $1 million and likely have ended up taking the life of an innocent person.
One thing that I thought about, just kind of visually seeing the
Okay.
house in my mind, is, we saw obviously the suspect go to the front door on the camera and the camera got pulled. I want, and we know there's a security gate on the front door. Could they have gone in through the back and that was the way in, and then taken her out the front, unlocked the front from the inside? And because you could pull you could pull a car right up to the front door there. That's where the driveway goes, which would.
And that's what I think. That's what I think. Now, what led her, or what led them to open two back doors, and why? No, they're sliders, sandwich, right? What led them to open up two back doors, and why? Especially, let's think about this. From what we understand, at least, the front doors, even though there was blood inside and outside, they were closed. They were closed. Right? Now, did they close them on their own? Or not? And more importantly, well, not more importantly, but how did, when we talk about Tommaso and Annie, when they arrived, how did they go in? If you go through the back, you're looking at two doors open. As soon as you go around back, if you go to the front, there is blood on the inside of the porch, blood as soon as you walk into the house, and a doorbell missing. Also in the back, a light is smashed. Okay. Now, if you look at the time frame here, the timeline rather, which is important. Give me a second. Make sure I sent this. Okay. If you look at this timeline, January 31st, Nancy, it's when she goes to Tommaso and Annie's house, 5:30. She doesn't get back till 9:48, 5:32 p.m. She doesn't get back till 9:48, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 8:30. About 4 hours she's allegedly there. Now, 9:48, family drops off her at home. It's actually Tommaso. He says he sees that she gets in the house and the garage door shuts and he backs out and then he leaves. 2 minutes later. Okay. Now, it seemed like the FBI, in my opinion, was paying quite special attention to the garage. If you remember, in the very, very early days, the first places that they were going, like they were all going to that garage. And now we're told two of these back doors were propped open. Now, something that's interesting to me is these heart, like the computer that, like, it's the brains, if you will, that your pacemaker connects to your smartwatch, and then it connects to that thing, and it will either send the data in or you take that box in to your doctor and they will evaluate it. Allegedly, and I'm trying to do some more research on this, but those don't update in real time, right? So let's say, and it's not every second. It's not every second because that would be so much data. So this pacemaker that's going on, it's not updating every second. Oh, let me help you out here. Like, there you go. You got my point there. There you go. Okay. It doesn't update every second. In fact, I think they upload every couple hours. Generally, they update every couple hours from, or if there is something wrong with the heart, right? So I'll get more to that in a second. But What if perhaps Nancy was taken and she was dropped off, and as soon as that garage door came down, there was an ambush, someone being holding her, even potentially, that she couldn't go anywhere or anything. Lots of times when people go to their garage, something can happen. It seems very quick.
It kind of makes sense if she's got these mobility issues. Savannah said she can't even walk to the mailbox most days. So maybe they got in through the back and took her out through the front.
Yeah, and I totally understand that concept and why that would seem to be a logical thing. Two things I would have to ask before I could come down with all my weight on the ice on that one is number one, if they were bringing her out the front and they were both ambulatory themselves, why do they need two doors blocked open? Having doors blocked open means you're taking something out of them and you can't use your hands to keep the doors open. And
that, or it's staged, right? That, or it's staged. You either need, when do you prop a door open? If you don't want to hold a door open, like if you're carrying furniture or you're carrying something big, that's when you prop doors open. But again, the evidence suggests that Nancy was taken out front. There's blood in that little, the opening of the door on the inside, like in that little hallway area, and then on the outside, and then on the sidewalk. Were these doors were they propped open to throw investigators off, as just to throw them off in some way or another? Or were they planning something else and then decided to go some other way? Most people say, well, why didn't they take her out the garage area? Propped open to allow accomplices in. Maybe.
it would be wider than, say, one person. So maybe two people carrying somebody out, things like that. So that would lead me to believe that the back door is how they took her out. However,
I don't
there's
think it's
blood
staged.
on the
I don't
front
think the blood's
porch.
staged at all.
And as far as could they have gotten in through that gated door, it would depend on two things. Number one, did she lock it? And a lot of people don't. The other thing would be, how is that gated door locked? Is there a key on the outside and a little switch type mechanism on the inside, or is there a key on the outside and the inside? Because if it was locked on the outside and the inside, they couldn't have gotten out that door unless.
And yes, a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that talk about how they're that some of those doors you can lock from both ways. I don't think this was one of those doors, in my opinion, because you can see that it has like a deadbolt and then just a regular. It's got a doorknob below it as well that has a key, and I think it's got two locks, but you can lock them both just like a regular door. So they had to, if they took Nancy out, she had to get out that
unless
door.
they knew where the key was, unless Nancy gave it to them.
True.
So the problem is for me seeing blood on the front porch and the fact that, yeah, it probably would have been a lot easier to get the car right by the front door. Makes a
It does, because like it's almost like in a U, the driveway, and then after the sidewalk, I think there's like a step or two, but if you were taking her out, that would be probably the path of least resistance, right?
lot of sense for the front door. A propped open back door flies in the face of that, really. I don't know what else you're trying to get out of there, unless they made it, they changed their mind in the middle of this, which is also an indication of amateurs.
Well,
So
it's on the
I'm
sidewalk.
just not
Blood's on
sure
the
where
sidewalk
this
too.
goes. If you could get in through the back door, why would you go anywhere where there was a camera?
Yeah.
I don't get that either. I mean, and your average burglar knows right away now that
This is my problem. This is my problem. Okay. The 11th and the 31st, or the 1st, technically, whenever the cameras aren't working at the neighbors, right? Whenever that is going on, right? Think about this. If the cameras weren't working on the 11th at 1 or 2 in the morning when the dog barks and all that, and then the night Nancy was taken. Okay. And just like this guy said, why would someone go in front of cameras if they don't need to? You got it? But if they can turn the camera off down the road, why are they not turning the camera off on the front porch? Why are they not turning the camera off on the front porch? Why not? Now, allegedly, the cameras weren't working inside during those times. But what makes the camera on the front porch special? Like, I understand that they took it, but they didn't take the neighbor's cameras. They didn't take the neighbor's cameras. They didn't take the cameras inside. They didn't take the camera up on Nancy's roof in the mother-in-law suite. And that's the thing. Like, is it a total coincidence? Right? Is it a total coincidence that the neighbor's camera, happened to be off on the 11th, when they believe that this perpetrator was around the home, when we've got maybe other footage of him at Nancy's, and the 1st, right? And the dog barked both nights. The camera's off. And also, on the 31st, that evening, they saw a weird car right down below Nancy's, pulled over to the side of the road. And also, the 11th, the neighbor sees a strange guy walking next to Nancy's home. Is all of that a coincidence?
the first thing you're going to be dealing with is in most places is a ring camera at any place that has valuables enough to take.
And she said that her brother, who was a fighter pilot and also worked in intelligence, apparently, was very quick to say, I think that she was kidnapped, even on the phone with Savannah. which I guess some have been critical of that, like, oh, how would he know that so soon? But that didn't really surprise me, actually. I mean, if you're getting the call that the back doors are propped open, there's blood on the front porch, your mom who can't even walk to the mailbox has disappeared, I would probably think the same thing.
I would too. I mean, what you have to come down to is you have to eliminate very
You have to
quickly
deduct.
any other motive. I mean, does she have money? No, Nancy does, or Savannah does. Has she made anybody angry? Not bloody likely. It comes all the way.
I mean, I understand what they're saying. I just wonder if others had talked to um, Cameron first. Now, what really bothers me is whenever they are, Savannah says, my Tommaso and them already called the hospitals, right? Well, you had to do that really
Way
quickly.
down, you step down for all possible motives, and there's only one or two left, and one of them, sexual assault or something you don't
They
even want to
they
talk
did.
about,
They weren't.
and kidnapping
That was just
would not
stolen.
even come into the equation unless there was somebody in her family, in
Mhm.
Nancy's family, who was well known and perceived at least as very wealthy.
Right, that would be Savannah. I mean, and like she said in
Right.
the interview, she's coming to terms with that, which was kind of one of the more emotional
Heartbreaking.
parts. Yeah,
Well, they do have cell phone service, they said, but the neighbor said that their cameras have never blacked out like that. He says that in when he talks to Brian, and then when he does the Nancy Grace interview, he said our cameras have never blacked out like that. And those were the nights that now, as far as cell phones, the towers and stuff, yes, but cell phone is not Wi-Fi. They're two different things. Do we know for sure that T and A entered the house Sunday morning? No, not necessarily. I mean, some people would go into the house, and check to see if she's there even after they see blood or something, and some people will just leave it alone, and just be like, I'm calling right now because something's not right here.
I mean, you can imagine the guilt she's feeling, which is just
I can only imagine it. I've never been through that. I hope I never do.
right. Yeah, absolutely. She also said that she was taken in her pajamas with no shoes on.
He got a lot of stuff wrong, SD.
I guess I wondered how she would know that, but it would make sense, I guess, if she's older and wears probably the same couple of pairs of shoes, and the
Right.
sister Annie helps take care of her, you would know what shoes she wears, and the shoes are
Yes.
there. But what did that say to you?
That they had inventoried her clothes and her slippers and things like that
Yes.
as well as they could. And I know from taking care of my elderly parents, at a point you start to know what they're going to be wearing, because though they might have a large closet of clothes that they used to wear, once they become
You could probably safely assume that the shoes Nancy was wearing the night before, that she would most likely be wearing the next day, right? Wherever she, if she, took off her shoes when she got in the house, or by her bed, or at the door, or in the garage, or whatever, she's probably going to be wearing those same shoes the next day. And if they were somewhere inside, not good, right?
becomes less mobile, they tend to get in the same type of clothing every day and not change comfortable shoes and things like that. So my guess is that there was probably a pair of slippers visible, possibly by the door, or they actually have a footprint.
Oh, that's interesting. Crazy Buck, could those marks in the driveway be from her heels to, again, from dragging on her? Hmm. They're I don't think so, in my opinion, because they're a little too uniform. You know what I mean? They seem a little too uniform. They're certainly not a traditional drag mark because most people, like, when you think of drag, this might be, it's true crime here, so we're talking true crime. When most people drag remains, uh, they will generally drag them from their arms or their legs, and it's a specific pattern. You wouldn't hold someone up like from their shoulders, like when someone's alive and you're dragging them. Sometimes you might hold them up from the back, from their shoulders up, and their legs would drag, but it's not a uniform pattern either way. So I don't think, in my opinion, but that's very interesting. Good thinking. Um, there would be blood possibly. Um, yeah, very. I mean, there's blood that had to have stopped somewhere um, right after that sidewalk, which kind of tells me, which is very interesting. It kind of gets less and less blood as it goes out, right? So, in my opinion, wherever, whatever Nancy was put in, whatever vehicle or whatever, I bet you that they will find blood. Bet you. Unless they recontained it somehow very, very well. But we got to realize whether Nancy was walking on her own, being carried by one person, two persons, she was not being contained, whatever it was, whether she was in a sheet, whether a tote had a hole in it, I don't know. But whatever it was, there was no containment right there. And that means that vehicle, wherever that vehicle is, probably has some blood in it. Even the smallest little drop. And let me tell you something, it's almost impossible to get blood out of your car. You may not see it. You may not see the actual red or the rusty looking color anymore, which that itself is hard to get out. Blood is the most difficult thing to get out, but it's still there. It's still there, mother chicken.
Of some type of Nancy's. But I'm just speculating as to how they would get it. I'm not trying to infer that that's how they did find it.
In your mind, when you envision this all going down with the information we have, why wouldn't they let her put on her slippers? Whoever did this.
Same reason they wouldn't let her put on her or get her medicine. And that's still
I hope
something
not.
I cannot come up with. It. I mean, if you're going to kidnap somebody, you have to have them alive. I mean, why would you kidnap somebody and not take care of their physical?
And that's the thing. That's what I really, really am concerned on, that I don't think she's alive.
Needs. It could be that she was non-ambulatory at that point, and I'm just going to leave it at that. And if that were the case, they wouldn't necessarily want to put slippers on somebody they were carrying. What would be the point? But then you got to think, where are you taking her? And so it chills me, the fact that they're taking her out of the house and not making any efforts towards her long-term comfort or survival.
Or maybe she had these heart issues. You get woken in the middle of the night like that. Maybe she had a heart attack and this whole plan went awry.
I thought about that, but then I also thought that we might find some indications of that on her pacemaker.
Yeah, that's a good point. That if that happened still right there in the house and it was still connected to the iWatch or the phone.
Because I think that thing would start hitting hard if she had a heart attack of some type.
Yeah, that's
but again, I'm not a cardiologist.
Savannah also said that her phone, purse, personal items were left behind.
Something that's also interesting is many times if there is something that is abnormal in your pacemaker or defibrillator or combo, many times there will be, it will alert an emergency system, or it will alert someone on that you have it set up to get in contact with as well. Did that happen in Nancy's case? Did any family members, if something went off at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and Nancy's heart spiked, something like that, did that not take place? Because the caregivers was Annie and Tommaso. That was made clear by Savannah.
Behind. I guess that plays into what we're talking about. I mean, if she was taken, why would they give her an opportunity to take her phone?
Right. Even if they were going to take her and keep her alive and safe and comfortable, they wouldn't take her phone.
Yeah. The one thing that really surprised me in the interview with Savannah, because a lot of these things I had either heard or kind of expected. I had heard some things about the back door. But the one thing that I was surprised by was that she said that she believes 2 of the ransom notes are legit. Because I was just starting to think that all of those ransom notes were just phony people just trying to get, and I think some of them obviously were. But what do you make of that? That she believes 2 of them are real.
I think if the FBI was telling her that they didn't believe they were real, she wouldn't believe they were real. Nancy Guthrie is a very intelligent woman, and she is obviously smart enough to take the advice or trust the people in law enforcement who are experts in this. So my guess is that that's something she was told. And this whole
guys, I just want to let you know that there is some misinformation going around on the Guthrie case right now. People are posting that there's SWAT and stuff in Nancy Guthrie case. I can tell you that it is not related right now. So I've been checking into it in the last couple minutes, and it is not related. So yeah.
Ransom note thing has worked as hard as it's been on poor Savannah and her sister and brother and the family. It's been crippling for the kidnappers, because if you say that or if it comes out in public.
Magdalena, you going to bed, darling? Good night, Justin and all. I have to leave for work at 5:30. I text you a clips. Yes, I text you back, baby. You were asking about Savannah talking about Annie and Tommaso. Thank you so very much, Magdalena. Appreciate you, my dear. Get some rest. Thank you very, very much, my dear. Much love. I'll see you, Lord willing, tomorrow or day after tomorrow. If I don't feel like it tomorrow.
That you are sending your ransom letters or ransom notes, communications to a very specific organization, say TMZ or the local network affiliate or something like that.
Yes.
Then everybody gets that address.
Yes. Everybody gets it. Now, tell me this. For this these ransom people, whether, again, any of them are true or not, why would you send it to more than one news? You don't ever see that if they do send it into the news or whatever, and you want as less people to know it as possible. You don't want a national news organization and then local news organizations to have this. You want this to be as small and as quiet as possible if you are doing this for ransom, right? You want it to be quiet, not something that is crazy, out to the world.
If the kidnappers can get that address, you can get that address, and you could probably get it in a 5-minute Google search. If they had somehow obtained the email addresses or communication addresses of anyone in that family, Nancy or her sister or her brother, then they
She
can
does.
say it was sent to Nancy, but
She
nobody would
does.
know where to send false ones.
Right.
And so I think the kidnappers made their kidnap notes actually questionable because they made it that in a way that other people could just pile on and look like theirs. Plus, information was released on the kidnapping notes or the ransom notes that they could mimic.
Yeah, and I was thinking back to what I remember
Right.
reporting
It's
about these
gossip.
notes and learning about them, and we were told there was information in a couple of them that only the kidnapper would know the location of certain things.
And that's the one. And again, I do think maybe one or two of the ransom notes are legit, but I don't think it's for ransom. I think it's for potentially distraction.
In Nancy's house. So that may be a
And you don't wait
reason
4
that
days.
Savannah is saying that she thought it was legit. But also, do you remember in that one social media post, Savannah said, "We received your note and this is like a follow-up post, and we understand." And I've just wondered if they communicated that Nancy was no longer with us.
That would be kind of unusual and really kind of macabre, but it wouldn't be out of the question. Obviously, whoever sent that, and if it maybe we'll just for the sake of argument say it was the kidnapper, they have not been able to prove life.
Exactly.
And there's probably a very hard reason for that.
You get what he's saying right there. There's probably a very hard reason for that. Well, you only prove life if there's life, right? There would be no reasoning. People's like, well, the metadata and all of this from the camera, you can wipe that clean in 3 seconds. No, trust me, if this person is speaking about how he is emailing or the TMZ or whatever, there are a couple programs that even like it's really even hard for the FBI to get because even the employees that at certain through certain programs they can't even access it. It's that encrypted. So trust me, if you wanted that money, you're gonna send a picture of life, a video, something.
And so they made a statement in the
They didn't even make up an AI video. You know what I mean? Like if they were like
second
desperate,
email
they'd have
that
made up
they
like an AI
wanted
video or something.
the Guthries and the FBI to understand completely, and so much so that Nancy and the FBI felt the need to say, or I'm sorry, Savannah and the FBI felt the need to say, we understand what you're saying. And then she starts, as Savannah starts talking about closure. And that to me
Right.
does not sound like somebody who is still having hopes of getting her back.
And that makes me wonder again. So, you know how I said I think the ransom person, the kidnappers, they did this for a distraction. Well, if there was one or two letters, one was like, you know, it looked like a legit ransom letter, but they said things that was only the kidnapper would know. And then the next one, they go off and they say, they give some hints, or maybe they say that she may not be alive or she's not alive anymore. And then you hear Savannah, just like he's saying, they answer back when they do that video, we understand what you're saying or what you mean. Again, to me, this may be the kidnapper uh making doing a distraction. They're not there, the kidnapper's not there for money. They're angry. It's a distraction, but they want it to look like a legitimate kidnapping. Yeah.
And I go back to the high school girl from Georgia who was killed in Aruba.
Tight. They were
Natalie
tight.
Holloway.
They were all
Natalie
tight.
Holloway and Joran van der Sloot.
Yeah.
He at first he said, "Give me some money and I'll help you." And now they wouldn't do that. And then later on, he said, "If you pay me money, I will lead you to her body." So at that point, maybe they changed the negotiating point to, "We will show you where to find her." Again,
Don't you guys remember whenever there was something in like a ransom letter with Nancy, and again, I don't remember which one it was, but they said that if they brought Nancy back, it would take them some time to drive her back to Phoenix, or not Phoenix, Tucson. Does anyone remember that? And I thought, that's weird. That's weird. It would take them some time to drive Nancy back to Tucson. Yeah. A lot of y'all don't remember it. Yeah. Yes, Justin, 12 hours. Yeah. 12 hours. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. It was in one of the ransom letters. It was like, if we would have to, it would take some hours or something, like they were out away. It was like 10, 12, 15 hours or something. Justin, have you looked in the attempted deduction of ransom of a couple in Scottsdale 131? Yes, we did. Yeah, I did. It's getting more common. And they said, be prepared to go international. Was that what it was?
this is just speculation. This is what I'm doing, looking in, and I am in no way, shape, or form trying to say this is what the FBI is dealing with. But these are things that would lead me to believe that that's what the FBI might have been dealing with.
Are you surprised the FBI wasn't able to trace? I mean, we know that these notes went to at least the local TV stations, and they weren't direct emails. They went through like a contact us form, from what I was told. But are you surprised that I guess I still would have thought the FBI would have had some way to track the person down through the note?
Yeah, I'm surprised, but even in the few years since I've left the FBI, technology has just raced forward. And so I may be having a little bit of the 24 syndrome, believing that Kiefer Sutherland has this thing where he can just click it and people's faces come up. They When I was in, I remember there were some really specific limitations, at least at
Yeah, from what I understand, there is a couple programs that, again, even the FBI has a very, very difficult time because
some points in my career. For instance, if you got a phone call into a trunk line, say, I think this was in the late 90s, we got a call, a threat through a trunk line where they can just send it off to different extensions and things like that. There was no way we could trace that phone call off of that trunk line just because of the way it was configured. And so there may be electronic and technical digital things that prevent the FBI from getting information.
Makes sense. What do you think it means that Savannah did this interview? And I guess what I'm getting at is I was thinking to myself, if the FBI was really hot on the trail of someone, would they have advised her not to do this? Like, please just continue to be
I agree
quiet. We're
also,
we're almost there. I mean, do you think this is an indication that the investigation is not progressing right now? Or could it mean the opposite? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, it could mean that. I'm not sure it is. From my time in the FBI, I just know cases like this were never put down. I mean, one of the hard things are when you're an agent working these things
they're
is
not sheriff
forcing
Tuesdays.
yourself to go home and go to sleep, and you wake up in the middle of the night saying, what am I doing here? I better get back to work. And the agents tend not to let go of this, especially when they become close to the family and they're frustrated by not being able to find it. It becomes
It's an
like
obsession.
Moby Dick to Captain Ahab. It becomes an obsession for them.
Trust
And
me,
so I don't
know.
for 1 minute believe that even if they've reduced the number of agents assigned to the case, that they are expending any less efforts on it. So what I would suggest is that Savannah realizes that she has to resume her normal life.
You know, I was wondering today, is Savannah, I talked about this last night. Is Savannah being played, or is she just playing it cool for the world? And does she know, not know, but does she understand why people are questioning her certain parts of her family? You know what I mean? Like, is she, because she can keep a secret. I mean, damn, she's been everywhere, in the highest clearances of, you know, interviewing presidents and everything else. So, like, I'm really 50-50 on it because sometimes I'm like, because, like I said, like, sometimes if you're like a psychologist or a psychiatrist or therapist or whatever, like, how to, you can, or teach, people the tools of, mastering your behavior or your problems, but they don't really take their own advice. And we're all like that to an extent. So is she, this is like the emotional part, like how could you talk about, think that it's my family? Or is she just like, it's emotional, but she's got to do this to figure whatever out. I have zero poker face. Is that the one we talked about last night, Crazy? Oh, thank you, Miss Adele. Thank you, darling. Appreciate you very, very, very much. Love. Very kind. Good to see you, Miss Adele. Thank you so very much for your support. And thank you for being a member here on the Pearl family, my love. Good to see you. Thank you so much, honey. You hit it on the nose. She's being played. We don't know what she's being manipulated to believe. I think there's some manipulation going on. I couldn't leave Tucson until my mom was found. I just must, yeah, it must be very conflicting. Yeah, I agree. I don't think she has to do all that she did. There's some real issues.
And she just can't appear one day on the Today Show and say, I'm back. There has to be some closure for not closure, but at least some type of agreement on where she is, that she is still in a hard place, nothing's resolved, but I have to go on with life. And I think that was a way of saying, I'm going to resume my life one of these days soon, and you're part of that life. You deserve to know where I am, to all the people who follow her. And I believe that probably the FBI, anytime Savannah would say anything to the press, the FBI probably sees it as an opportunity to send messages to potential kidnappers, and they may have had a part in that. I'd be surprised if they didn't, but they're certainly not going to tell Savannah to say the FBI is doing a good job or the sheriffs are doing a good job and all this. That's not what they're there for. They are there
All right, I
simply
found
to
it.
say, appeal to somebody. There is the kidnappers may not have or the people takers may not have a conscience at all. They may just be incredibly evil people, but somewhere, somebody down the line that knows them does. And eventually that may be where the break in this case comes.
Oh, there'll be a break. Trust me. This will be solved. I mean, as far as but that doesn't mean Nancy will ever be found. I just want to make that. This will be solved with genealogy at worst case scenario, in my opinion. Worst case scenario. I don't know if Nancy will be found, but
Do you think the interview, I mean, we're all hopeful that it will make a difference, but I'm just thinking the $1 million reward has been out there for a while. Does her
Exactly.
speaking this way, do you think it could actually persuade someone?
Yeah, I think there's a
I don't.
possibility. At this
I don't. I think honey, if your heart ain't led you yet, and $1.275 million hasn't led you, and both of them haven't led you, your heart and the 1.275 million. It's going to take someone else, or it's going to take someone in a very weak moment, or you gotta someone might get pissed off at someone, right? Let's say it's a boyfriend and girlfriend, and your man wasn't, that looks like your man one day, but you don't really say anything or whatever because he's your man's and all of that, but he cheats on you or whatever, and you bust his windshield out, you flatten his tires, and you call the 911, right? So that can happen too, and whatever works, whatever works. So that could happen too. 360. Come on, y'all. Hit that thumbs up. Which there's two different chats. Please hit that thumbs up, y'all. Really appreciate you. I think it's family that won't turn on family. I couldn't myself know. I'm in a wheelchair, but Savannah isn't going to be able to search the vast. I don't. I don't really. I know a lot of people, and I'm usually bitching like, "Why are you not searching?" In Savannah's case, I'm not. I'm not. Um, I don't even think she would be able to physically search because of the craziness that would be around her. I don't even think she would be able to get outside of her door, to be honest with you, because there would be everyone following her. Everyone following her. Thank you, darling. So is shit the search? Yeah. Yeah.
This point,
Stream on the share.
early on in the case, you say that's a low probability. At this point, you'd say any probability is
Yeah,
worth
JT,
doing.
we're gonna talk about it later.
You don't
Not
go for
tonight,
the
tomorrow.
best shot. You go for the only shots you have. And so I think that's where we are with this one. And I think it could, as much as this is, follow me on this, but as much as this is wearing Savannah and her family down terribly, you saw that she is not giving up. She is not surrendering. Even if she gets no closure on this, she is not surrendering herself
Life.
to the kidnapper. She is not taking away her own kid's mother just because of what they did. She is strong. She is continuing. These are in the worst times of her life, you are seeing the best of her coming out. That's
for
I
sure.
think the best thing you can say about somebody. The type of people who take people like Nancy, when things get tough, they get worse. They are cowards from the beginning, and sooner or later, something's going to break. And
Well, it seems like Savannah's the only one really talking in her family. I think, Savannah's brother has spoken out a couple times. I have not seen Tommaso speak out a one time at all. When he is the last one to see her, that we're right, like he's the last one, dropped her off, opened the garage door, peace, squeals out, like 2 minutes. Come on now. Guys, we got 1,700 people watching. Please hit that thumbs up button.
and people who are
Chat, you're in it.
watching
Double
this,
tap that screen.
who have a suspicion even that, this, geez, it sounds like this thing over here. Sooner or later, somebody's going to do it. And I think the fact that they haven't done it for money means that the best chance to get them would to be decency.
Do you think when she gets to, she said she's going to go back on April 6th at the Today Show. So she'll be on it, every morning, I guess, like she was before, and she becomes a part of
I don't think it'll be live.
so many Americans' lives again, and we see her every day. Could that impact the investigation? I mean, could whoever do this try to reach out to her again because suddenly she's back in, the limelight again on TV every day? Like, do you see that component impacting things?
Yeah, it could be. And right now, I believe probably that the FBI has at least a tentative profile on the person who did this. And so they will have an idea whether this person says,
really?
I screwed it up, nothing happened, I'm going to walk away, go back to my life and try to live the rest of my life and never have a speeding ticket. Or if the person's, wait a minute, you can't brush me aside like that. You can't ignore me. You can't go back to your life. I am in charge of you. This is me controlling you. And
well, whoever this person or persons that did this, they wanted to either hurt Nancy or hurt the family. It's one or the other. And I don't think it was to hurt the family, in my opinion. to me, this was to hurt Nancy, and then it would ultimately hurt family or some family as well. But one or the other. Tommaso could, in this spokesperson for the family, and got out there and searched before everyone thought he was sus. Yeah, I mean, you've seen the pictures of Tommaso and Annie when when Nancy first went missing. They're doing this and in like the cars and stuff. I'm like, why are they doing that? Uh, that just made no sense to me. Hey, Rocco. Savannah doesn't seem ready, and NBC is monetizing the fuck out of it. I heard putting a countdown of days till Savannah goes back. Oh, trust. Listen. Whenever these companies are paying and signing contracts with said individuals, and they're paying you 10, 12, 15 million a year, and something like this comes up, you signed a contract, and they're going to make money off of it in any way they can, and they're going to have your ass back as soon as possible as well. It's just the way they work. It's corporate America. Sorry, but I think people are damned if they do and damned if they don't. We're always damned if we do and damned if we don't. Bogey, it doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, there's always going to be. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone's damned if they do and damned if they don't in some aspect or another.
If that's the kind of person that they believe this this thing is that took Nancy, then yeah, it could cause them to act out a little bit. It's all going to depend on the unknown. What kind of person did this?
Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering, like, what's the next chapter in all of this? Is there, because it's already such a bizarre case.
I don't think so,
with
Joe.
so many strange twists and turns.
I don't think it's an accident. Again, what would be the accident at 2 a.m.?
Think back to when we got the video for the first time from the front doorbell camera. It was just this, like, this is a horror movie moment. Does this all go quiet now, or is there going to be another really dramatic turn? That's kind of what I've been wondering about.
I think it's going to be a little bit like the search for the missing Malaysia airliner. What was that, 470 or 370?
Yeah, oh God, don't tell me that.
MH370.
Yeah, I think what you're going to see is, for the next year or so, a full-time effort on this case. You're going to have, instead, most agents have.
Don't tell me that. No, you're wrong, sir. You're wrong. No. No, I cannot take it. No. Hell no. But this is the thing. Sometimes they can know exactly who did it and a lot more, but it just takes time to put it together. Peace of all to Jesus. I think it really depends on the labs, and I think it depends on the genealogy as well. Genealogy can take some time. It certainly can take some time. Now, they are awaiting some certain DNA, and I think it's going to take I think it's going to be a year. Hopefully not, but I think maybe months, or you know, it could crack
5 to
overnight.
10 cases. Some have 20 cases assigned to them, depending on what they investigate. I would say that you are going to have this case assigned to one or two people who do nothing but this for the next year or two of their career. And so that is a significant, and by the way, that's the minimum. I'm not saying that more won't be. I'm just saying that the FBI is not going to give this to somebody and say, this is one of your 5 cases. They're going to say, no, this is your job right now. And that will continue at full pace as long as incoming evidence and leads justify that. If it goes completely cold,
Okay.
and
I want to
nothing,
do a poll. So let's say, for instance, that this takes a year. Okay. Would you find it suspicious if it takes a year and I'm going to put T and A would not do an interview with and that's within that time period? Yes, no. Okay, put a 1 in chat. And what I mean by this is, would you find it suspicious if it takes a year and T and or A wouldn't speak out within that year? If they didn't speak out about Nancy within that year? I would find it a little weird. Me personally. That's just me personally. And because particularly I would find it a little weird with Tommaso. Because like if you're just speaking about the you driving your mother-in-law home, you're not talking about the case or anything like that. I get that part. But just saying, just kind of like Savannah, right? I would want to clear my name. I always say in crime, people who have nothing to hide nothing. Um, just the last day you spent with your mother-in-law, the last hours you spent with your mother-in-law, the last drive you spent with your mother-in-law. That's just me, though. I would find it a little bit weird, on top of a lot of shit of other things I find weird, to be honest.
things come in for a year and you can't make heads or tails of it, they'll probably switch it to a different agent or two and try to see if they can work it. And then what's going to happen is it's going to be possibly semi-dormant. But I think you're talking years down the road. And every time a new piece of information comes in, like Malaysia 370, they're gonna send the boats out back looking for the wreckage. In the same way, every time a piece of information comes in that they didn't have before, they're going to compare that to every bit of information they have already, and it's going to be a pretty big spin up each time one of those things happen. But they're not letting it go.
Do you think what she did release that was new, the back door, the no shoes, the pajamas, are those things you think that the FBI cleared? Or do you think, I've also wondered, do you think she thought, you know what, guys, I gave you 2 months and I'm going to do the interview and talk about what I want to talk about now?
Yeah, and that's possible. One thing I've seen that I believe I've seen with Savannah and her family is the willingness to work closely with the FBI. And
Right. And think about that. Yes, Nancy, very good point. Think about this. If, for instance, I mean, if this is not going to be solved in, and this is a former FBI who worked in 2024, I think 2 years ago, he retired for FBI. If this is going to take a year or two, in his opinion, is anybody going to be looking for Nancy in that time? Or is this going to be a nobody case? Or if she's just found within that time frame while they're working the case, or when they get ready to arrest, hopefully they can find, the person will tell them where the remains are or what. You know what I mean? That's really weird. I don't know. There hasn't been a lot of looking for her, especially no.
we've seen families who are terribly aggrieved because of loss not work well with law enforcement, and that doesn't help them. So I've thought that Nancy that Savannah has really worked well with law enforcement, and I don't picture her as somebody who would at some point say, I've given you your shot, I'm the investigator now. So if she did mention things that were new, like the propped open back doors and things like that, I believe she probably ran it by the FBI, and they may have even offered suggestions about what she might do. The interview itself, I think, was important because we live in kind of a heartless world as far
That's true.
as
There's always gonna be
viewers and
people
audiences are concerned.
you
They
know, there are people that still think Brian Laundrie is alive. I mean, there's people that think Elvis is alive. You know what I mean?
they will, if she doesn't cry on camera, they'll think that she's stone cold or that she knows
Everyone's
something.
gonna judge
And if she cries
something.
too much, she'll get criticized for that.
Mm.
There is no winning.
Y-
You can't win the internet because there's
Don't
too
even
many
try.
horrible people on the
People try to win it every day, and it just
internet. And so
you can't
I
win
think
with everybody.
the interview, I think they did as well as they possibly could and let the chips fall, simply because they were going to be damned if they did, damned if
I
they
agree, Deb.
As
I
always, I
agree.
really appreciate Steve for
I
taking
agree.
the time to talk.
Brian is headed out to Arizona right now. I want to play something right here. But I really agree with Chris McDonough on this, and John Lamb, Bob Gillum. Damn, where'd it go? Okay. Here we go. Guys, hit that thumbs up button or double tap that screen. Doing all that good stuff. Appreciate you.
My mom, then my sister and brother-in-law. And no one protected my mom more than my brother. And we love her, and she is our shining light. She's our matriarch. She's all we have.
Savannah and her family stayed together in Arizona for weeks as the media coverage grew more intense.
We had to move houses many times because people came, and not everyone is respectful, unfortunately.
Wait, what?
You know,
One second.
there was a night we had to leave in the dark in the desert, holding hands, me and my sister and brother and I, get into a car waiting for us because the people outside were closing in. So we found a place that was safe, and then we couldn't really leave too much. So
Okay, I can't find it. I judge. Why did the sheriff since then not accept search parties? Good question. At no cost to the taxpayers either. At no cost to the taxpayers. I agree. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Guys, that's it for me for tonight. This is a more of a quicker one. I had another live right before this, but I have a dental procedure early in the morning, and it's already 12:16 here in the morning. So I may be back tomorrow. If I'm not, then I'll be back day after tomorrow. What is she talking about? That's when I don't know what she's like they were closing in. I don't get that part. But if I'm not here tomorrow, then I will be back. I'll either be here tomorrow evening, if I feel decent. It just depends. I can talk, and I'm not half-ass loopy than I normally am. Otherwise, I will see you guys day after tomorrow. I really do appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for being here, taking time out of your night. I know it's valuable, and you can truly choose to be anywhere. And I really do value your time, guys. All right. God bless you. God keep you. Take care, everyone. Good night. God bless.